on locations throughout the world.
Standing passengers, please do not lean against the doors.
Picture goers, we bring to you new films of interest.
Chicago in State is next. Doors open on the left.
The miracle of the motion picture.
Please be considerate when talking on your phone or listening to electronic devices.
Chicago's a nice town if you're looking for pizza.
Welcome to 4 Stars, a Chicago film podcast. A podcast where we talk about movies set in Chicago.
Each episode, we'll be discussing a different movie that's set in or was filmed in the Chicago area, its cultural/historic relationship to Chicago, and whether it's a good representation of the city.
We want to figure out what makes Chicago movies different from movies about other cities, and to answer the question of what a Chicago movie even is. I'm one of your hosts, Jeremy Martyr. I'm the GM of the Heights Theater.
And I'm Paco Alvarez, a journalist based in Chicago. And on today's episode, we're actually going to be talking about TV, big old television, and we are talking about the hot show that's on everyone's lips.
It's an animal-based series.
Yes, it's a really popular animal-based series
With
set
a
in
really
Chicago.
hot star.
Yeah, really, everyone's talking about him right now.
Say it together. Peter Boyle.
Yep, the star of Poochinski, the series from 1990 that was not picked up. Poochinski, starring Peter Boyle. And then also, I guess, there was something called The Bear that just ended, and I guess we should talk about the last season, maybe.
Yeah, I guess. But that's secondary. We're talking about Poochinski. This is the Poochinski episode. Actually, this is the Bearchinski episode.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yes. Named after the main character of The Bear, Carmy Bearchinski. Interesting. I didn't. Do you think they take place in the same universe?
They do. They definitely do. Paco, why don't you tell us first a little bit about what was going on in the city in 1990?
Yes, 1990. So that's when. So Poochinski, as I just mentioned, was a pilot that was not picked up by NBC. They filmed the pilot, but did not get picked up as a series. I'm confused as to why. And but they did, weirdly enough, they did air it like a few months after they nixed it. So they aired it on July 9th, 1990. An interesting thing is that the World Cup was happening at that time, just as it is now.
Who won?
1990. I want to say like France.
You keep going. I'm gonna look it up.
But so I actually have 2 articles, but one of them I found one and I was going to talk about it, and then I found another one that is even crazier. So the first one, that's the crazy one, is the title is Dunning Discovery. Chicago's, and the first line is, Chicago's destitute and insane of a century ago, those disadvantaged souls excised from polite society like vermin have literally resurfaced to taunt the living. So the article is about how in Dunning, which is, far west side, at Irving Park in Narragansett, I don't know if it's still there, there was a shopping mall that opened in 1989, or they started like building it in 1989. And while they were building it, all these like bodies kept being found in like the sewer system, or like popping up out of the ground. Like there were just like these like dead bodies. Some of them were like super well preserved. Like one of them, it seemed like it was the mummified torso of a man so well preserved that he showed the handlebar mustache and mutton chop sideburns of the 1890s. They found all these like baskets of bones, just like tons of bodies behind this. This
is the best story we've ever started with.
Like they found all these bodies under this mall that just like kept popping up. And it turns out that during the 1800s, I think until 1960, whenever there was like an indigent person or like a mentally ill person who was just like found dead and like no one knew who their family was, they would just like put him in this like mass grave.
Oh, the John Does?
Yeah, and like no one, like there wasn't any like, I guess there weren't any records about it. So there was just like all this land, there's like this big piece of land. And then in the 80s, they were like, well, let's build a mall here. And then while they were digging up the mall, the foundation for the mall, there's just like tons of dead bodies. So it's like literally like a burial ground.
See, if Romero tried to write that in they'd be like, that's too unsubtle.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. They were also like building homes there. Yeah, it's really crazy. And then the article at some point mentions, this is from 1990. Today, the bodies of the 450 or so destitute and unidentified men, women, and children who die each year in Cook County are trucked to Homewood Memorial Gardens near Thornton for burial in a mass grave. So we're still doing that kind of stuff. Or at least they were in the 90s, just like putting people in like a mass grave if they don't know who they are. But yeah, it was a very strange find, this article. I don't know what it tells us about what was going on at the time, but it's just like so haunted.
Yeah. Do you know who should be on the case to figure out who all these people are?
He would be
Ruff.
He would be so good because he can dig them up.
He could literally, Paco, start writing right now the 1989 rewrite of Poochinski. I'm not even kidding. Now is the time.
Yeah,
I think we could get a green light if we agree that the dog is CGI. I really do think, Paco, that like movies like The Sheep Detectives, movies like Disclosure Day, like Hollywood has a requirement because they invested so much money in digital fur technology that I think they're like, okay, we'll give you an extra $15 million if you just put some animals in there. Like, we just need to get our money's worth. Like, it doesn't need to be the main point of the plot. Like, but I'm certain of it. So if we do a CGI Poochinski, who would be our Peter Boyle?
Well, we should talk about Poochinski.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I'm getting way ahead of myself.
You're getting way ahead of yourself.
Wait. Let's take a step back. West Germany won FIFA World Cup, by the way, that year.
That's really funny.
Sorry, I got way too excited about the idea of digging up the bodies.
Yes, but we can talk about that later when we talk about Poochinski, so people will understand what the whole. They need to understand the lore, of Poochinski first.
Well, I think they all understand Poochinski. They've all seen it. They know what we're talking about.
Everyone has Poochinski dolls, really creepy Poochinski dolls on their, on their bookshelves.
Exactly.
So there was another article that I'll just mention briefly. That's frankly compared to the dead bodies being unterred isn't as interesting, but the article is called Alderman's Legal Fees Debated, and it's just about how I don't know if I couldn't find information about whether or not Chicago still does this, so if anyone knows, please let me know. But Chicago sometimes used to pay for, like, with taxpayer money, for legal fees when aldermen were like indicted or sued. And there was like a debate around this time about whether or not that should continue happening, because there were these 3 aldermen who were being sued in federal court because they forced the School of the Art Institute of Chicago to take down this painting of the late Mayor Harold Washington that like some student had painted. Because they deemed it offensive, and then the students sued them in federal court for probably First Amendment violations. Because you kind of like that is kind of crazy to do. I am kind of curious. I didn't look up.
Yeah, like how offensive was it?
Yeah, I don't know what. I'd be kind of shocked if the School of the Art Institute had hung up some like super offensive painting, but maybe back in the 90s things were different, or 80s. But it was just funny. We talk a lot about indicted and convicted aldermen, and just the fact that the city used to use taxpayer money for their legal fees to like hire outside attorneys is just funny to me. And then just since we're talking about it as well, The Bear premiered on June 23rd, 2022. That's later than I thought, because in my head...
That's weird, because I don't remember that coming out. It's not etched in my brain like the 1990s.
Yeah. I feel like in my mind it came out in like the nether region of 2021, but apparently it came out in 2022. And just the only reason I wanted to bring it up is because the headline of that day, the big news in Chicago, was that Ken Griffin, the richest Illinoisan, said, "I'm taking my family out of here," and went to Miami. That was back when he was like, "Chicago's crime is out of control. We got to go to Miami."
He's taking his talents to South Beach.
Yes. Where he is still doing a bunch of fucked up shit. What was crazy, it was like right after he had donated a bunch of money to the Museum of Science and Industry to rename it, to like get his name on it, and he just left. Oh, and it was after he had destroyed the fair tax in 2020. But so that, anyway, that's what was going on in 1990 and then also in 2022. But should we start off with Poochinski?
Sure, sounds good. So we start off with we all know it. Let's say it together. Flyover of our city, and then immediately cut to LA. So how did you watch this, Paco?
I watched it on youtube.com.
Was it the one that's Poochinski 1990 Unsold Pilot? Is that the name of the link? Because it was 240p.
I think I watched the one that was in 3 parts. I think
it
was
a little bit better.
I think it was still 240p. It looked a little bit better than the first one I tried watching.
Yeah.
Like the first one, I was like, I couldn't see Peter Boyle's face, and this one I could like see like 2 more pixels.
It was insane. I watched the one with Peter barely being able to see Peter Boyle's face. Because I turned the other one on, and then I just was like, I can't watch more ads. So I went back to the other one.
If you just use an ad blocker.
I know. It messes with something for my work things.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So I could have just gone to a different browser, but I was lazy. But Poochinski. It stars Peter Boyle. Frank, what's his name?
Frank Newborn?
Yeah, George Newborn.
George Newborn.
Yep. Amy Yazbek.
All these names.
Mm-hmm.
John Ritter produced.
Mm-hmm.
The famous John Ritter. Yeah, so Poochinski was a show that was produced, funny enough, by David Kirshner, who way back when in our first episode we talked a bunch about him because he was one of the, I think, early co-writers and longtime producer of the Child's Play series. I think his name might just still be attached to it for legal reasons. I'm not sure. So the creators Poochinski, they pitched to the head of NBC, and they got the dog itself was made by Industrial Light and Magic.
Mm-hmm.
But they asked him to do it like really quickly for like pilot season, and they like accidentally like made the front dogs like the legs 3 times longer than a bulldog's legs. Like they were just incredibly long arms. So the reason you never see full body shots of like the Poochinski puppet is because it looked like so fucked up. And they had all these ideas of like what they were gonna do with the puppet, and then it was like they were just like, we need to get this pilot out. So they had to just like only use close-ups of the dog puppet. And that like there's like the whole scene where they're like in the guy's apartment and he's like chasing him around. Like that was supposed to be a scene in the, like you're supposed to see that happening, but they just like the puppet was so fucked up that they couldn't do it.
Did you say that the creator of this created the doll for Child's Play? Is that what you said?
No, he's the producer of it.
Because it also says that Kirshner designed on his Wikipedia. It's a Wikipedia article. This I'm not doing too deep research here, but it says here that he designed the Chucky animatronic doll.
Yes, I think that's true.
That's crazy.
Yes.
And there's something about the way that Chucky scrunches his face that reminds me of Poochinski.
Yes.
Like there's those like close-up shots of Poochinski that I'm like, this is cinema. This is what TV was made for, But they, not that they're a 1-to-1, but it's just weird that they're both set in Chicago, both these animatronic things.
Yeah, both by David Kirshner. They should have done a team up, a Chucky Poochinski, like Chucky riding him or something.
Ooh.
I think that'd be good.
Or it's like Poochinski's on his case because he's solving the crime.
Obviously.
Yeah,
because Chucky's the serial killer.
When he's going through the crimes or like that Peter Boyle captured, doesn't he say something about the Lakeside Strangler?
I think you might be right.
I think they mentioned that. I think
that's really interesting.
I'll double check this after,
and
we'll put in like a yay.
No, I think you're right. This because I do remember thinking like, oh, I wonder if those are real crimes. Like this sounds kind of familiar.
He said something that was like Lakeside Strangler.
Yeah.
Detective, who caught the North Hill Strangler? Who caught the post office bomber?
Poochinski.
Anyway, it's the show starts the way most shows starts, where a grown man points a gun at a child.
Because they're beating
Peter
up
Boyle.
a dog.
They're beating up a dog. Children are in an alleyway of Chicago. The kid pulls out a knife, and Peter Boyle says, "Don't worry, kids, mine has bullets." And he saves a dog, and immediately Peter Boyle has a connection with this very, very cute bulldog. We find out that he's an odd part of an odd couple cop duo. What's the odd couple? What are they called?
Yeah, the Odd Couple.
Yeah. So, his partner, played by George
Newbern.
Newbern, named Robert McKay. He is, laced up, very uptight, very reserved, whereas Peter Boyle's Stanley Poochinski is unkempt, gross, horny as heck.
But he has a wife.
Has a wife.
Interesting enough.
Yeah. And what does he say about how working Vice you meet a lot of broads?
Yeah.
Is that the direct line from this pilot? And his partner is disgusted by him. But while they're out casing a joint, he orders a pizza.
Oh wait, I do want to bring something up. In the early
Go
scene,
ahead.
right before he points the gun at the kids, he's eating a hot dog off a cart. You don't do that here. I've never seen a hot dog cart.
Yeah, I know. I think that when I think about my childhood, there used to be carts downtown.
You think so?
By the river, there used to be
Hmm.
and I would think it was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always kind of thought maybe this is elitist that cart food was kind of nasty.
That
like-
is elitist.
It very much so is. But when I was a kid, it would be like when it was I didn't care how rundown the shop was that we were getting our greasy food from. But when it was in a cart, I guess it's different with ice cream and stuff. But it was always boiled hot dogs, and I'm just not a boiled hot dog guy. I like my hot dog charred. So I just always I hated the soggy bun that would sit in the carts. I just thought it was a little nasty. And then I've had better street food since, but Chicago doesn't really have street food
In some areas,
culture.
obviously, but yeah. Well, it's not even a cultural thing. It's just because of permits. I think it's just really hard to get a permit, and there's a lot of weird rules about what you're allowed to sell. So
Yeah.
it's you either do an illegal cart and you get busted up, or
Yeah, true.
you're not allowed to. But I mean in predominantly Mexican neighborhoods, there's more street food.
That's true. And I'm not really thinking that's actually very true. I'm thinking more hot dogs.
Yeah.
I'm thinking stuff like that. And in New York, it's just so much more common.
Yeah.
To eat something like that, and it's also so much more nasty. But it's actually New York's actually disgusting. The streets, when the garbage is piled high in Manhattan.
Yeah,
And
you're eating
then
a hot dog
there's-
next to it.
yeah. So maybe that's just the seasoning. But anyway, we're not talking about New York. We're talking about.
Poochinski.
Mhm.
Sorry, I had interrupted you. I guess we were just talking about what Stanley Poochinski's like.
Yeah, but he's ordering pizza to the stakeout. What is it? What did he say? Shrimp and pineapple?
Yeah, he doesn't want that. He's like, oh, they gave me the
He's
wrong.
oh, shrimp and
Which
pineapple.
does sound disgusting.
And then he says, "What am I what am I healthy or something or a health nut?" Which I thought was
Yeah.
pretty funny. And then he throws it back to the dog. Anyway, it's just the idea that Peter Boyle is a wild and crazy guy, and his partner is not. And all of a sudden, a woman's being mugged at an ATM. So lickety split, they go after the guy, and while they're chasing him down, when Peter Boyle gets out of the car to go chase him, he basically gets ran over, hit by a car.
Yeah, they're chasing him, and the dog are chasing the guy. The guy gets into a car, and then as he saves, like the car is gonna hit the dog, so he saves the dog and he gets hit instead. And then his partner finds him, and he's like, oh, we find out earlier that his partner is having like a flirtationship with a widow in his apartment building, and so Poochinski is like, I have 2 Cubs tickets in my coat, like take them. That's like pretty much the only Chicago reference.
Yeah.
But he's like, I have 2 Cubs tickets, like you should take the widow on a date with them or sell them so you can get
Better
something off
yet,
them.
sell them.
Yeah.
Very funny.
And then
like that.
he has a moment of connection.
Oh, they also say Clark and Division. That's the other.
Yeah, they also, I think in that same scene when he's like, we're on Clark and Division.
Yeah.
And then he has like a moment of connection with the dog where they like look in each other's eyes, and I guess his soul is transferred into the dog.
I think that's based off the Shakespeare, right? That's Sorry, I interrupted you. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say that's very similar to Chucky. I'm just realizing, like, yeah, this is just kind of the plot of Chucky, but with a dog.
Wow. It really is just Chucky.
Yeah.
It's like, what if Chucky buddy cop? That was the word, not an odd couple, buddy cop, right?
Yeah, buddy cop. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a 48-hour situation.
Yes. Definitely. So then the next day, the partner, or a few days later, the partner is at the gravesite for Poochinski, and then the bulldog comes up to him and starts talking to him. He never talks to anyone else, so it's hard to like. Is it in his head? Is it not? It's hard to tell what's going on.
I feel like that would have been explored in the series.
That's a good point. Like, there's no reason why Poochinski shouldn't reveal himself to other people.
I think we would have gotten that by episode 4. Like the widow would have been like walked in one day and he'd be talking to the dog and he'd pretend like he was ventriloquisting it,
Mm-hmm.
and then eventually they'd have to loop her in, and then she'd help them with solve the murder. So basically, the dog is like, "You have to help solve my murder, kid."
Well, they solve it immediately.
Is that what happened? Did they solve it?
Yeah, at the end they catch the guy.
They knew it wasn't going to series, huh?
And he got a medal. No, I actually think, and this will be interesting to compare it to The Bear, TV shows, shit used to happen in the first episode. You could just have maybe it wouldn't get picked up. So you just had to have like a full-on story in that first episode. And so like I also thought it was going to be like, oh, it's the plot of the series is they're going to try to catch the killer. But no, it's like they catch the killer at the end pretty immediately. He chomps on his balls, and then there's like a little photo in the newspaper of Poochinski with the medal. They gave the dog the medal, and then he's like in the canine unit, so now they have a reason to be partners again.
The puppet is terrifying.
But now a TV show, if you were to make a Poochinski remake, you wouldn't get to the dog till like episode 2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he would have died at the end of episode 1, and the dog would have come up to him licking his face.
Yeah.
And then it would cut to black. Directed by Christopher Storer.
And then episode 2, he would like be figuring out what's happening to himself.
Yeah.
He like goes up to the partner in episode 3. The partner doesn't believe it till episode 4.
No. Episode 3 is actually about the secretary. So we actually get the side character of the secretary. We get her backstory. She gets to the office. The dog's humping her leg. Episode 4.
Yeah.
It's like, my family, they're so crazy.
And then by like episode 8, because it's only an 8-episode season, like
but it's like an hour and a half long.
Yeah. At the very end of episode 8, they like corner the killer, and it turns out that he has like there's some lore behind him. Like he has a talisman from ancient Egypt that transfers the souls of dogs. Of something people to the souls of dogs. And then the second season, which comes out 2 years later.
2 years later. I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah, we've all forgotten about Poochinski at that point.
Yeah. Everyone's like, wait, what happened to that show? And then they'll explore like the lore behind the talisman or whatever.
Right. And it starts in Egypt.
Yeah.
Like ancient Egypt.
Yeah. Poochinski has to go to Egypt.
And then he's got to go to Egypt. It is not good.
But yeah, what I appreciate about this show is just like, you have a concept, you just start doing it. You have to get to the second episode, essentially. You have to like get,
Right.
you know, it's not like,
I just don't know what the show is. Like, that's why I didn't get picked up. It's like, they're like, this is what I imagine the meeting is like. Kirshner, buddy, this is great. You knocked it out of the ballpark, but you told the whole story, kid. We'll play Poochinski in theaters forever. That's how I imagine that happened.
yeah, definitely.
So, you know, I don't know. I was turning this over in my head. We can continue to talk about Poochinski, but I have bear questions for you. So, do you want to keep? Do you have more Poochinski thoughts?
I just want to say,
Okay, go ahead.
it's funny that this is ostensibly a cop show. Most of the episode is about Poochinski trying to set up his partner in the widow. Like 60% of the episode is just him trying to do that.
The best shot in the pilot is Poochinski's little ears and eyes peeking up over like a record player as his little paw turns it up.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really beautiful shot. Like, it's truly
Beautiful.
stunning. It's beautiful. It took my breath away. And there's like a few shots like that in this where I was like, how did they do it? And then in another few shots, I'm like,
I liked the scene where they're in the elevator and he's the partner's talking to the widow, and then he's like going around them and making them go closer to each other. Like, he's putting his leash around them. Poochinski
that's very
is.
like,
And, like,
Shaggy Dog.
Yeah, and they're does that happen in Shaggy Dog?
I don't know. I feel like it does. I feel like in most things where like the dog is sentient, there's like a scene where like the two dogs are like the leashes and they push the partners together. Like that happens in 101 Dalmatians.
Oh, okay. So they're just taking it. So whatever. So the originality, I thought they just took it from the
Whatever. Who cares?
That makes sense. Whatever. I mean, I think that if this show had continued, they would have just gone. I guess they would have solved more crimes. But yeah, I don't know what is him being a dog. How does that change things? I guess like maybe they can solve, like, he has a good nose.
He's got a good, yeah. I guess like it could just be like him investigating white collar crime and like political corruption in Chicago. I would like, you know.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. I do feel like if there was a Poochinski Chucky crossover, it would be interesting because Poochinski would know that the killer is plastic, and like no one would believe him. They'd be like, "No, you can't. A doll can't kill people," and he's like, "No, I can smell it. I can smell the person."
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I do want to go back to one last thing. So at the beginning, who would be Poochinski now?
Who would be Poochinski now?
Yes.
Who in my mind is like kind of dirty, kind of grubby, but funny. Well, what about, and this is just an idea, Neil Fack from The Bear, Matty Matheson. He's kind of got Poochinski vibes. Like, that's kind of what his character is like, you know? He's like kind of the off-putting. He's a little too loud. He's a little too gross. He talks a little bit too much. Fack. What do you think about that? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, he, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I was thinking someone more famous.
No, I know. But he's like, you know, he looks like a cop. He looks like a Chicago cop.
I do feel like it would be Evan Moss Backrack.
Backrack. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Like, that's who they would cast.
Yeah.
But I do think Matty Matheson is better casting.
Yeah, I could see that. Or he plays like Poochinski's like friend down the street. He becomes friends with another dog.
Who's the uptight Io Edeberry? Plays like the buttoned up.
No, it'd be Jack Quaid.
Yeah, it would be someone who. No, I shouldn't say that about Jack Quaid. I was gonna say someone who sucks.
He's fine.
He is fine, but
His
like,
dad is,
you know,
sucks, but he's fine.
yeah.
Actually, I feel like maybe it's just because The Boys came out recently, but I feel like Carl Urban would also be a
A good
classic.
Poochinski.
Yeah, classic Poochinski. He has a bulldog on that show. That might be why I'm thinking that.
That's true, but like, I'm thinking Peter Boyle. I know you're saying more accurate things to the way that it would be done now. It would be someone with soulful eyes who is like regular and handsome, regularly handsome. I want like a Peter Boyle style guy.
No, definitely. There's not that many of them, or they all take Ozempic. Like I don't.
Yeah, it's true. I'm just thinking about the cast of Bernthal could kill it. Bernthal would kill it.
He'd be good as like an evil dog, as like the villain dog.
Oh, he's the villain.
Yes.
I like that. That's a good pitch.
Oh, of course. Okay, wait. I thought of what would happen at the end of the first season. They kill the killer. Second season, he comes back as a dog as Bernthal. And he has to redeem himself.
So how are we getting this mall in Dunning into this?
Yeah,
is he actually like a developer? And it's like one of those people who he kind of has like the villain and thief energy where he just like he invested in this mall. You know what I mean? And he's like,
that's why he kills Poochinski, because like he's getting too close to the truth.
Okay, we got to get writing. There we go. We're cooking. And speaking of cooking, okay. Just let me pivot away from good television to, the 1990s to this. We joke about Poochinski. Poochinski is a very odd object. It's very enjoyable. It aired after Turner and Hooch, by the way. Which is very funny. Do the things that I hate about the Bear have to do with the Bear, or the fact that I do not watch streaming television?
I think a lot of people's post the first 2 seasons have had a lot of frustrations with the Bear. So I don't think it's purely a streaming television thing, but I do think, like I mentioned earlier, with like the pilot thing, you used to be like, when you have a pilot, you have to start the TV show, You can't have like a show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer and she doesn't slay some vampires in that pilot, And now, because you're just given a whole first season and like people don't have any like experience writing on television, so honestly, like the whole first season of most TV shows is the pilot now, honestly, and like they don't go anywhere. And like then they get to the second episode and they realize, oh, we don't know how to write a TV show. Like we don't know what we're doing here. So I do feel like part of it is maybe just the streaming thing, but I also think like the show itself. I guess maybe it is all streaming stuff.
Because I don't think I hate the Bear, but there's things about the Bear that frustrate me so much.
Yes,
and it always has from the pilot episode. Which, if you wanted to do your homework, watch Poochinski, of course, in glorious 240p. Paco and I both watched the same episodes for this conversation. We watched the pilot episode of The Bear. We watched the first episode of the final season, the 5th season of The Bear. And then we watched the penultimate and the finale of The Bear. So that's where we're going to have spoiler conversations. Just FYI, there's a bear. They cook a bear, I'm pretty sure.
What and how much of the show did you watch before this?
The first 2 seasons.
Okay. I watched the first season.
Frustrated by the end of the second season. I was like, there is no juice here.
There's no juice. Yeah.
Oh,
they gave you that beef dry.
But there's stuff about the show that I like a lot, and I have friends who have worked on the show, and it's employed many, many, many people in Chicago, so I don't want to just come across like I don't appreciate or whatever. And eventually we'll talk about the Dick Wolf shows, which I have much more frustration with.
Mm-hmm.
How the way that it like, this is actually like a very creative show. Like there's artistic elements that like, and a lot of hard work that go into it, but there's also budget bloat and like a weird amount of celebrities in it and things about it that just take it out of, I guess, what could have been. But I also don't want to sound like someone who's like, man, like this show started really good and got bad. There are things about the pilot episode that fucking suck. I'm so sorry to get angry right away, but there's shit in that first episode that I think is fucking awful and really, really does not hold up.
I remember, like I mentioned, I watched the first season when it came out. I remember enjoying it. I remember thinking like, this is fine, but like I will continue to watch this show. And like there were parts of it that I really liked, like the famous one take episode. There were parts of it that I liked, and in my
I like
head,
that they call each other cousin. Like, that's fun.
And then when it gets to, I tried watching season 2 and I kept falling asleep, and I was like, this actually is bad. So then in my mind, I was like, the first season is fine. Season 2 is when it starts to get bad. So when I rewatched the pilot episode, I was like, oh, all the issues I had with the show, like they were there all along.
They were there all along.
From the beginning of the show, it just had all these like deep flaws that I think like ultimately come down to like the writing. There's actually a lot of issues, but like the writing, I think, is the thing.
Sorry.
What were you gonna say?
Color correction, cinematography.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just like when you're making a TV show, I think you have to make sure like you only see the characters' faces.
Yeah, no, exactly. And the focus needs to be nice and shallow. I too have bought a brand new prime lens and gotten really close to I feel like everyone does that in high school when they first like figure out lenses, that they're like, ooh, it's nice and shallow focus. And like, that's what the show is.
I think it's a lot of people like, they go to film school, or maybe they don't, they get involved in like filmmaking. They don't want their influences to be just like generic filmmakers. So they pick like a cool guy like Cassavetes. So then they're just like, okay, like I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make everything look like Cassavetes. What does that mean? Oh, I'm just going to have like zoom ins all the time. Like, no,
Yeah.
He's actually like a good director.
I know.
I don't know.
And Christopher Storer did direct some episodes of Rami, and he produced 8th Grade. There's like a lot about the Christopher Storer thing that I do think is like pretty good, but then there's some other stuff. So I don't know. I want to say, I want to not just be like the guy with the takes, right? Like I'm not saying like the show that you love is actually bad. I think that my issues come from that this feels genuinely completely separate than my experience of Chicago. Like there's stuff in it where it feels like there's Chicago on the outside and something else that I cannot understand on the inside. And I'm not saying that it's not Chicago, but it's not a Chicago that I recognize personally. And I'm not saying that this side of like the food industry doesn't exist, or I think the food stuff in general is pretty good. And that the feeling of being the go, like we got to get the food plated. It's the time is running out. I got a little sick of it by the end, but it's like, this is pretty well shot. It's pretty well done. Like,
well, when it's
I have
about
an
the food stuff, I think it's interesting. The issue is when it gets to like all the other parts of the show.
I know. And like, I thought that the Thanksgiving episode was really good when the first time I watched it. And then I had to watch it again with my family, and I was like, this is a slog. And like, this was maybe when I was like thinking, this was right around when Everything Everywhere All at Once was coming out. And I was like, is she a bad actress? Like,
Oh, Jamie Lee.
is Jamie Lee Curtis a bad actress? Because like, I don't believe her.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think I just have an issue with watching people who've never been regular try to act regular.
Yeah, I think that is definitely an issue with the show and all like the celebrity cameos. It's like the fact that they all like all these people have been in the film industry for so long, and you're just like having them talk in a certain way and like act in a certain way. It's something just confusing to me is that like it's really hard to tell what there's like this weird tension between like, oh, like are they middle class? Are they like working class? Like what's that like going on? There's like a weird separateness, which I don't know how much of it. Maybe it's just like the actors. I don't know what Christopher Storer's class background is. Like I know he's from the suburbs. There's definitely a lot of suburb thing going on.
His Wikipedia page is like weirdly sparse.
Yeah, I mean, I think
There's
because
like
it's
not
like
a lot of information on him.
because he's not like huge. I mean, he obviously has like partnerships with Bo Burnham and
He's from Park Ridge.
yeah, Park Ridge. So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be like. Recently, I feel like there have been a lot of conversations about like. Mostly, I feel like they've been centered in New York, but also they inevitably come in Chicago, and we've talked about it a lot. But like, what does it mean to be a Chicagoan? Like, who represents the city? I think like the weird conversations about like transplants, like they kind of like bother me sometimes. Like they're just like, there's like, we have this idea that like transplants are ruining cities. And it's like, no, a lot of times like the people who are ruining cities are like the people who were born and raised here, you know, like the Dailies and like Rahm Emanuel and stuff. Like it's not like we wouldn't be a city without like people coming here from other places. And we should be a city that people want to come to. And that includes from the suburbs. And like we can't just like, I've obviously talked shit about the suburbs in my life, but also like I grew up there for part of my life. So it's like, I don't want to say that like you're not a Chicagoan if you grew up in the suburbs. But like at the same time, there's a part of me when I have all these feelings and then I watch this show and I'm just like, this kind of feels like someone from the suburbs made it.
Yeah. Which I'm almost like this, the beef would not be in River North. It would be in Cicero, or it would be in Flossmoor. It would be in...
Which would be fine. That would actually be a really interesting show to have it be set in the suburbs.
And like maybe they're trying to open a store in the city, right? So it's like...
Yeah.
But like...
Or like, yeah, like... Imagine being like, you know, a chef from a Michelin star restaurant and starting like one of those in the suburbs. Like that'd be fucking weird. And there's actually a lot of already inherent tension in that. But like...
So what's your feeling overall on the fact that it's about a mom pa beef shop that they decide to try to open a Michelin star restaurant? Like,
completely misunderstands what the initial appeal of the show was. Like when the show came out, it was like, all right, we got, because like imagine if the bear did not happen, and we had this podcast.
We were bearless.
We were bearless. We had this podcast, and someone was like, all right, there's going to be a show. It's going to be filmed in Chicago, all Chicago crews, starring, you know, practically Chicagoan Jeremy Allen White. It's got Ayo Edebiri in it. It's going to have all these Chicago restaurants. It's going to be filmed here.
Yeah,
and it's going to be about a Michelin
excited.
star chef coming to Chicago to work at his family beef shop. We'd be like, yeah, that sounds fucking amazing. Give it to me now. And then you watch the show, and it's like, what the fuck is this?
Well, surely there will not be like character actors in it who we love, right? Oh, there is. They're kind of all over it.
It just doesn't.
It doesn't hit though. I just like when I'm watching it, I want to be liking it more. And like, I do like some of the ways that like, I really like Io in it. I really, really, really like, what's her name? Liza Colin-Zayas. I really like Lionel Boyce in it.
All the characters who are allowed to be funny are good.
Yeah, Eben Moss-Backrack, although he is...
I don't like
I know. The character is up and down for me, but he's like the least centered character, but he's also very funny. Like, he's a very funny performer.
He's a rogue Jedi. He just has the funniest, like, the most Star Wars ass name on the planet. But
his middle name is Che?
Yeah, after Che Guevara.
After Che Guevara?
His parents were just like white people who liked Che Guevara, and so they
hell yeah.
He's
Jewish?
Yeah.
Sorry.
He gives one of the best performances in Girls.
Yep.
You have you seen Girls?
Like I've seen episodes of Girls.
He plays a character who is like an actor and musician of like kind of like that 2010s like stomp clap style. And he's so good and unlikable in it. It's crazy. He's like, anytime he's on the screen, you just can't help but like hate him and like not stop looking at him. And this show, they just like, I don't know. So I think it's just an issue that I have overall. Like, there's so many scenes of just characters like coming up to each other and being like, I'm so traumatized. It's because of all my family issues, like because I do this, you know?
I know.
It's like so
It's
much.
one too many characters who do that.
And
Like by the end, after skipping seasons 3 and 4, and then they have like dads coming into the restaurant at the end, I'm like, oh, they did another arc with this. And it's like
every single character has family trauma. You can't do that for every, like, sure, maybe that's realistic, but that can't be like the part of your, like, every single character.
there needs to be a Poochinski plot.
Yeah.
Like you need to have a Poochinski plot. Then someone needs to be having fucking fun.
Yeah. It's just like none of them are having fun. Like they all just seem so miserable, and they're all like working through it, and they're all like learning how to hope again. And it's like that doesn't make good television. That just like,
No.
it's boring. When you have just like, that's why I dropped off after season 2, because so much of like the first episode of season 2 is just characters like going like talking about their feelings instead of doing anything. What, you made a face.
I have really, really good news. We are going to be covering Eben Mock's Backrack 2 more times going forward. So maybe we should save some talk. Do you know what movie he's in?
No.
The Lake House.
Who does he play in the Lake House?
I don't remember. Henry Weiler.
Interesting.
So we will be talking about him again, but he is an interesting face, and like he's the
Eben Moss Backrack will return.
Eben, and he literally will in fucking Avengers Endgame.
That's true.
Part 2 or Secret Wars or whatever it's called.
No, I think it's he's in Doomsday definitely, because he's part of the Fantastic Four. And
yeah, he's an actual Jewish Ben Grimm. Like that is like one of the only. I don't want to sound like I'm like, oh, we don't get any representation. But like all the people who made the Marvel comics were Jewish, but they didn't write any Jewish characters, which is
definitely.
very much so in the history of entertainment. Which is like we are proud at home and not on the stage. They don't want to see us. And Ben Grimm is one of the only Jewish, like textually Jewish, superheroes.
Interesting.
So I was offended when the 2004. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, Michael Chiklis, he's Greek, adjacent. Well,
yeah, that's
okay.
true.
How could you look at Michael Chiklis and you're like, yeah, that's the thing.
That's the thing.
Like that's the like I haven't seen that Fantastic Four movie, but like they clearly had to do a lot to make.
Why would I watch that?
Yeah, they had to do a lot to make Eben Moss Backrack into the thing. They barely had to do anything for Michael Chiklis. They like painted him orange.
Who played him in the Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan?
Probably someone we haven't thought about in 15 years.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, I do like Eben Moss Backrack. He is the most egregious part of the pilot, which we should talk about. Which is where he pulls out a gun in the middle of
Toby Kebbell.
the Gold Coast. Who is it?
Or no, wait.
Toby Kebbell is the villain.
Oh, Jamie Bell. What the hell?
That's bad casting.
That's way more offensive.
I like Jamie Bell, but
that's not. Yeah, it's not good casting.
No, I'm kidding. The thing could be. He doesn't need to be Jewish. I'm just kidding. But they should make someone else Jewish. One of the Fantastic Four needs to be Jewish.
Yeah, they should make a Johnny. Johnny Storm.
A Sephardic Human Torch.
Yeah.
A Moroccan Jewish Human Torch would be good. There would be what was I gonna say?
Sorry. Tim Heidecker is in the 2015 Josh Trank Fantastic Four.
He's in it?
Yeah.
Who does he play?
So is Chet Hanks. Oh my god.
We might need to watch it.
Tim Heidecker plays Reed's stepfather, so Reed Richards' stepfather, and Chet Hanks as Jimmy Grimm, Ben's older brother. Interesting. That's been Fantastic Four talk.
So the Grimms are Jamaican in that? Anyway, Eben Moss Backrack pulls out a gun in the pilot. What's the name of that character? I'm sorry.
Richie.
His name is Richie.
Cousin
Richie. He pulls out a gun and he in order to get people in line to pay attention to him.
No, they're all like fighting, and he's trying to stop the fight. He's trying to stop the fight,
and he pulls out a gun and he shoots in the air, and it's like, it's one of the most like surface level understanding of what Chicago gun culture is.
Yeah, definitely.
It like seems like someone with a randomizer, where it's like they, and also his accent is
He just talks like a New Yorker.
it's crazy, and like I'm pro it because it's like a swing, and it's like if the bear was worse, it would be fun to have a bunch of Ebon Moss-Backracs, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't so fucking self-serious, like it's so self-serious, and it squanders for a lot of its run what makes Iowetta Berry so lovable, because it has her doing so much drama. But anytime they let her just be fucking funny, she's so funny. She's like the funniest person.
Like she's the only good part of the last episode because they give her like fucking jokes. But like
she's firing jokes when she's like calling them a bitch and like, you know what I mean? That part's kind of fun.
And then every other scene is her going up to Carmi and it's like, Carmi, you're the brother who stepped up. It's just like, who gives a fuck?
If they said, "Do you trust me?" one more time, I was going to throw my laptop across the room.
I guess, did we even talk about what the bear is about? I always sort of did.
It's
Jeremy
about a
Allen.
bear.
Jeremy Allen White plays Carmi Bear.
So annoying that it starts with a bear. I'm so sorry. That is so annoying. It's so annoying. Rewatching it, I was like, it really does this. A bear walking through Chicago. It looks like, and it's shot like in like Caleb Williams is about to bust through the tunnel and like start the pregame warm up. Like it, you know what I mean? Like it looks like that.
Yeah, it's like the commercial before
the Bears game starts.
Yeah. That's really funny. I was just gonna say a lot of the script just feels like first draft stuff. Just like stuff that like someone else should have looked over and cut a bunch of shit out.
And I once said that it feels like a chopped cheese restaurant plot that has been superimposed, but I do think like the makeup of the store, the show is better served to have it be a multi-ethnic group of people. But if we're being honest about Chicago, a place like that would be run by a family who's pretty racist. Like they'd be like, what? And like there would be like, maybe there'd be like people there of a different background, but they'd all be the same background.
Well, no, I'm sorry. All those restaurants,
you could disagree.
Every single Italian beef restaurant, whoever the owner is, all the people who work behind the house are Mexican.
Like, yes.
Every single
absolutely.
Chicago fast food restaurant, if you are getting served an Italian beef, a Mexican guy made that.
Yes. And like that should be a part of what is like the show, right? It's like, why is that the case? If it's actually interested in Chicago, right? Like that's a very interesting thing to make a show about. Like talk about the way that like Chicago Mexican food, and also just Chicago being like on the map for the best food in the world should be attributed to certain like parts of Mexico. Like every like the Thai food restaurants, like almost every sort of group. It's like a lot of that stuff is being cooked by Mexican cooks and they don't get the credit. And I think that's an interesting thing to make a show about. But they're not interested in that. And again, I do think like maybe the show doesn't have what it takes to comment on that. So maybe it would be annoying if they did, but I don't know.
And I just feel like, I guess like, I do feel a little bad talking shit about this show, given that I did not watch most of it.
I know.
I do feel like the way that there's just like,
there might be a whole subplot where it's discussing exactly what we're talking about, but there's a reason we fell off.
I do feel like, given how interesting the people of color characters are compared to how uninteresting the white characters are, they give the white characters so much more shit. And I guess like it's because it's like their family.
I don't think Abby Elliott's that interesting. I'm sorry.
It's just, I don't know. It's a very, I don't understand the decisions that they made into making the show. I feel like,
will you ever watch the whole thing?
No, absolutely not. After knowing how it ends, it makes me want to watch it even less. There was a moment when I was watching the penultimate episode where I was like, okay, like I'm sure some of this stuff would hit more if I understood like the emotional arcs.
Totally.
And then when the last episode happened, I was like, actually, I don't need to know them at all. I don't need to understand
Well,
this at all.
that's very true, and we're making sweeping judgments based on things not landing of a show we didn't watch. And there was a few moments in the penultimate episode where I was like very wrapped up, right? And very interested, and I thought Iowa DeBerry's performance was excellent. I thought the scene where he knocks the lamb over was really stupid, but
Should we talk about
the
it
way
in order before we get there, or should we just?
So anyway, Tom Skilling.
So the first episode sets up the show, does a pretty bad job of it. There's all these. I don't remember it's just the first episode that they do all these like, photos of old Chicago and stuff, right?
Yep.
It just really feels like they're trying to like get you. It just, I think, rewatching it now that we actually have started this podcast and are publishing episodes, it just like it feels like this show was made for us, and it still like kind of sucks. It's like I'm willing to give so many worse like movies credit for just showing like the Sears Tower.
Literally, like the Clark Street Bridge, it starts there. You know what I mean? It's like I'm so willing to just be like, oh my God, that's me.
Yeah.
Like we just did a Doom episode, and we're just like, it's like jangling keys.
And then this show comes out, and it's just like it's so much like everything that we want, and it still. Maybe that's why I'm so frustrated with it. Where it's just like it has a lot of pieces, and they just don't know how to put the puzzle together.
Yep. That part.
I don't know. But yeah, I guess between seasons 1 and 4, season 1 is mostly about like Carmi Bear getting used to like running this restaurant, going having fights with Richie all the time. At the end of the like they're like running out of money, and then at the end of the season, in like a very Arrested Development type situation, they discover that there's a bunch of money in like the tomato cans,
which I liked.
And then the rest of the show.
That's a setup for a show.
Yeah, but that should be the end of the first episode. That should be the end of the pilot episode.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the first episode should be him being like, how am I going to run this restaurant? Like all this shit's happening, and then he discovers the cans, and then you get the rest of the show.
But to defend the decision, it's the season 1 arc is they're going to shut down our family. Like I'm trying to save our family shop, and the reveal at the end of a first season of television, you need a hook at the end of the first season. Are we so fucking back, right? But it's also these characters trying to come into their own and be like, is this what I even want to do? I fucking hated the beef shop. Like, I hated the ingredients. I hated the way everything was done. I ran away to go to New York, where I was abused, to get away from that. And now I want to bring that back, but I don't want to.
By Joel McHale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good casting.
Yeah, he is. Does he come back? I guess I won't find out.
There's no way to know.
There's no one will ever know. That should be the level of celebrity they have on that show.
Yeah.
Like they should have Joel McHale types instead of like Josh Hartnett
or like John Mulaney.
Yeah,
it's like, but I guess John Mulaney's a Chicago actor. It's fine if they're Chicago, but like,
yeah.
like,
Why
what's
is
his
Jamie
name?
Lee Curtis in it? Yeah, go ahead.
Why is Jamie Lee Curtis in it? What's the name of the uncle, that actor?
Oliver Platt.
He's in what?
Is it Oliver Platt?
Oliver Platt. Like that's the level of celebrity who should be in here. Like a solid character actor who's killing it, who understands Chicago, who's a theater actor in Chicago for years, who was in the Flatliners. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, like we love him. It just gets a little high in its own supply at some point, I think.
Yeah. The plot essentially becomes that Carmi, I guess, is reliving his trauma by starting a fancy restaurant in addition to the beef shop, right? But they have they continue the beef shop in like a window, but then there's he starts a fancy, supposedly Michelin star restaurant. I'd be pretty fucking pissed if that happened here.
Yeah.
Like every other day, there's a new
That's
like
what I'm
small
talking
ship
about.
Yeah.
We don't need to fancify these places. And so it's like, I thought the show was going to be about them learning that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I gave the show too much credit. And like by demonstrating like these really delicious, really good restaurants like Kasama, now it's impossible to get into Kasama.
Yeah.
There's a line outside of Kasama every day, and it's like good for them. Like that restaurant's going to stay open. Like, and that is what the show is about. Where it's like even if you're running a Michelin star restaurant, you're not making any money.
Yeah.
So it's like that is an interesting thing to make a show about, and that's why I'm like I don't want to make a value judgment on the food industry side of it because it does seem like it's trying to grapple with some of this stuff and like kind of the gross aspects of like, you know, like you want quality. And maybe we do fetishize these like mom pa kind of disgusting, kind of like unfood safe. But like, guess what? I think that the Italian beef's going to be better if I don't want to go into the back and see what they got going on. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like I went to a Portillo's here in Minneapolis. Fucking disgusting.
Yeah, don't do that.
And the fact that this show like sort of settles on the idea that they need to franchise the beef. Like I just don't agree philosophically.
It just, I guess let's talk about that.
Sure, I'm sorry. I'm skipping. Do you have any other thoughts on the pilot, sir?
Or the first season? Not really. It just like there's so much like, dissolves and like first person. There's just so much like stupid shit. Yeah, exactly. Jeremy did the thumbs up. I love it motion.
No, I didn't. Stop, Paco.
And then from what I remember, the second season, it's just like boring, dumb bullshit. It's just like, oh, they go to different restaurants.
Okay, the second season is like Io trying to figure out how to become an artist, and I liked that stuff. And I liked that one episode where she's going around trying to
the different
sign people up
restaurants.
to the restaurant, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like that was funny, and she's like, "Oh, my bad, sorry." Like that seems very true to life, and I just really like her. I wish she would be like cast in a good movie.
I know she's
gonna eventually.
I just can't think of like a really solid movie she's been in. I can think of solid roles she's had, but just never like.
She's a good actress. Did you like the Luca?
I didn't see it actually. It seemed very long, and when his movies are long, they are long. So I did not. Did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
How was it?
Kind of absurd and like not at all tethered to reality, but kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Not as bad as some people think.
Well, some people really, I feel like, fight for that movie.
Let's not get crazy. But she's good in it, and I think that movie is like better than it has any right being, and not at all good. And I think that's because of the acting, and I think Julia Roberts is decent, and Io's great, and so is Harry McGee. What's his name? Andrew Garfield.
Harry
McGee. Yeah. I think that the second season has a lot of good stuff with Marcus too, and it also decides to start building out the rest of the cast to become actual people. And I do think that like actors like what's her name, Eliza, what's the character's name? I'm always talking about actors. Tina becomes really interesting, and she's very, very irritating in the first season. Like one note, but like the show decides to like dig into why she's like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like kind of an interesting thing where it's like the performance was always good, the actress was always good, but the writing was really bad for her, and they kind of just had her yelling.
Yeah.
And I think the same could be said as like for Maddie Matheson with Neil Fack, where it's like you're the comic relief, you're still kind of annoying. Like I just kind of want you to move on and be done with it, And I thought Edwin Lee Gibson as Ibrahim was very interesting too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting to like lean into like the softness of Marcus, and what that means, like how to be tender and, really like unmotivated at times, but then be pushed into going for it. Like that's kind of interesting, and that's where the show excels. And anytime it tries to be, I don't know, anytime it breaks out of that and becomes about the family,
It just
it loses me.
they
The
just
trauma.
they just never give Jeremy Allen White any like relief. You know, it's like he's like a constant like black hole. And like I guess that's what the show becomes about. It's like, oh, because of my trauma, I'm a black hole and everyone hates me. But it's like that just doesn't. It's not interesting.
It's not interesting, and like it's like the worst scene in the pilot is when he's like in his apartment and like he burns something and it's like CGI smoke,
Yeah.
and it's that stuff's annoying. And
And
like
he walks into the fridge and then he has a panic attack and like it just keeps happening over and over
well,
again.
it's actually really like I haven't seen it at all in any other things in media these days where a character just has a panic attack.
A
Sorry,
realistic
that
one
is a
at
joke.
that. Yeah.
Where it seems like every movie now has to have
Yeah. Even the Mario movie.
right. Fuck that movie. The Bear is better than the Mario Brothers.
That's good.
We'll
to
go
know.
on record.
That's good to know.
Mhm.
Okay, let's
Is
get
it
to
the best thing about bears?
the bear.
Yeah. Is it the
Um,
best? Is it the best fictional thing? I can't think of a thing that's about Paddington. Maybe is better.
Oh, like bears in general. I thought you meant
Mhm,
like the
mhm.
the Chicago team.
No.
There's Brother Bear.
I really like Brother Bear.
I do feel
That's-
like
that's a family classic for me.
imagine how much better the show would be if John Bernthal played a bear, like in like a Brother Bear type scenario.
In a Poochinski scenario.
Yeah. It's like he like kills himself in front of a bear, and the bear like licks his brains, and then it becomes him. And then
and then we like back and forth between the Lincoln Park Zoo, and he's actually like trying to cook
yeah
in the zoo.
Yeah.
Like the what are they called? Zookeepers are bringing him like food, and he's like, no, I need like ingredients. I don't need to just live.
Yeah, exactly.
He's getting like a good sear.
Yeah. Exactly. That would just be a much better show, I think.
Yeah, where it's just Madagascar but in the Lincoln Park Zoo.
Um
And that's called Taste.
Yes.
Season 5.
yeah.
Let's skip ahead.
So I guess at some point they start this fancy restaurant. The uncle who is loaning them all this money tells them like you're like after this countdown stops, you are going to be like I'm not going to loan you any money anymore. You need to be able to like be a self-surviving restaurant. And then I guess like Carmi makes some decision at the end of the 4th season where he's like, I'm not going to be a part of this restaurant anymore. And the 5th season, pit style, takes place over just one day. Their final, what might be their final day, as they like have like a bunch of problems and they're going to do like one last big service. That first episode is so brutal to watch. Like
yeah, I like the grimness of the rainstorm, right? Where it's like moody, and then like
it looked like
I wish
Stranger
it looked
Things.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish it looked better, but like that is a feeling, you know, like in those September rains where it does feel like the end of the world.
The past few weeks in Chicago, it's been like every other day. There's been like that type of rainstorm.
Yep.
And like, yeah, I really love when the city looks like that. The tension is there. It just isn't
Yeah.
very. It just is so boring. I don't know.
It's really boring, and like I guess like the only thing that got set up in that episode gets paid off is Tina's Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
She's cooking them, she's perfecting them, she's toasting the leaves, and that gets brought back. And I do think that if you watched a couple seasons of The Bear and liked it, watch the whole show and then email us at chicagopodfilmcast@gmail.com to complain, because if we are missing on some of the themes because we literally skipped episodes, please tell us. Like I'm serious. Like yell at us. It's fine. I'm not saying I'm going to know it all. I just have no interest in digging in because of the lack of attention to detail.
I just feel like if I were like, I'm trying to think of like, there's many shows where if I watch the first season and the last seasons only, it would feel so different because the characters have changed. And it seems like there was almost zero change between those first and last seasons. Like Sydney Io's character is pretty much the only one who seems different between the pilot.
I think Eben Moss Backrack's character is
I get
different. And I would say Tina is very different and Marcus is very different. There is some change, but
yeah.
I think the point is that Jeremy Allen White keeps falling into the same patterns.
Yeah.
But he has more. I mean, I guess we should talk about him with Shameless, right?
Yeah, he's, as I mentioned, he's like practically Chicago, and he's been here.
Because he was on Shameless for years.
Yeah.
And he is, I guess, forever going to be associated with the city now. But I don't know. I did watch a little movie before recording this episode with him as the star called Springsteen, Deliver Us from Evil, which is another fucking grim, like, he makes the boss into this, like, no fun. It's the writing, but
Yeah.
it's like, you know, like, he's like, it's so much of that is about him getting, like, abused by his dad, played by Stephen Graham, and like the whole like thing at the end is that he like, forgives his father. And there's so much dad stuff and there's so much mom stuff in The Bear. Like, it's just like,
And in Shameless.
and in Shameless, yeah.
He's really the traumatized boy.
And it's because he has those eyes, right? It's like he looks traumatized.
Yeah, I guess, and he's always making that face. I don't. I remember him being so charming on Shameless, and like there's like
I'm not a
none
fan.
of
I'm
that.
not a fan of his.
I remember when Shameless was running, and I watched however many seasons. Like I remember liking his character, and then since then I just haven't really enjoyed him in much. I can't really think the last time I liked him in something.
You loved him in Mandalorian vs. Grogu, right?
Oh, as Rada the Hutt.
As Rada.
As Rada the Hutt, yeah.
And he just does a regular voice?
I think so. I think they do like a filter on him a little bit.
I saw a little clip and it sounded like he's just doing his voice.
Did
you like the
and
Iron
he has
Claw?
father issues in that.
He has father issues in that. He does. You're right. He's in movie 43?
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like he like shits himself or something.
Do you like
He's
the
like a
Iron
boner.
Claw?
Oh yeah, he's pretty good at that. A movie
pretty good at
about
that.
father issues.
Father issues. Oh my god, and like familiar trauma, and like that movie was so grim that like
Yeah.
which I kind of like appreciate about it in some ways, but
Well, it's so fun
And
at first, and then it gets just like
you look it up and the story's like way more fucked up.
Yeah,
like,
they had like
actually
two more
toned it
brothers.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that like died.
Or like one more brother. But yeah, he's I don't know. Maybe he just needs better roles. He's gonna be in that He's in that Austin Butler movie, right?
Yeah.
Filmed in Chicago. So he's still here. Yeah, I don't know. Season 5.
Is it called Enemies?
Yeah, I think maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Season 5, the penultimate episode. That's the episode where they're doing their final service. They're the pace has finally picked up. They're super stressed. Like all these people are coming in. They have to like make all this food. That's definitely the most. I mean, all the episodes that have been good about the Bear, like the ones that I've enjoyed, have all been like when they focus on the food itself. And like I think it's just like they get the pace right in those situations. And of course, there's a really great cameo by Tom Skilling, which felt
yeah, that's true.
It felt like it just felt like it was trying too hard.
A little bit, but it was set up with the rain in the first episode.
Yeah, that's true. And he's really good. I mean, it's nice to be in.
He's really very natural, and I'm watching him going like, this is like a character actor that I know. Like his face is really familiar, and then I'm like, oh, that's Tom Skilling, and then I was like, oh, he's playing himself. Like,
Yeah.
It's a what's that called? It's just a cameo.
Yeah, it's cameo.
Is there another word for when you're playing a cameo of yourself? No.
Not really. No.
Okay. Well, I learned something today.
And pretty much the only emotional beat that kind of affected me was when, Sydney is going around and like he tells her great meal and then she starts crying. Because I think that would happen to any Chicagoan.
Right. Tom Skilling, legend Tom Skilling tells you did a good job.
Yeah. That was the one part that I liked, and for the most part, that episode keeps up the pace. It's interesting to watch. You brought it up earlier. There's a scene where Carmi like drops a plate of lamb, and then they all treat him like he's like a child.
It's really weird. Okay, so this is what I gathered. That there's been other times in the show where this has happened and it's gone, like they turn on each other.
Yeah, he always has a panic attack. He always like
And then like they're all like blaming each other,
he
yelling
freaks
at
out.
each other.
Yeah. He's like trauma.
And that the build here is that they're actually supportive and family and
It's because he's
chosen family.
Yeah, because he's got like the perfectionism. He's got a lot of issues, but it just like the way, maybe it's just because it's so decontextualized for me. It just felt like they were treating him like a child.
And what did they cook instead?
Coca-Cola ribs, which you were drinking, which as you're basting some ribs,
I'm literally right now.
cooking.
That's
cooking
me basting
We should have been cooking while we were doing this.
Yeah.
I was cooking while watching The Bear earlier today.
Yeah, that's what the show does really well. Is that the food looks really fun.
That's what the show does really well, is that you don't have to pay attention to it and you still get it.
Yeah, I have a friend who. Should I say this? I have a friend who works on the show, whose job it is to, when the director says I need more purple in the shot, to go find foods that are purple.
Interesting.
But it's not like that the shot needs eggplant. It's like he wants more purple in the shot.
Interesting.
So
That's cool.
that's just something that I learned. Yeah, pretty cool job to have. And then I know some other people who worked on the show, and I'm so happy that they were given jobs. And I think that this show is better than most of the shows shot in Chicago. So I'm just trying to like temper that. I just like the things that frustrate me is that this should be my show.
Yeah.
Paco, this should be 4 stars bait.
Yeah, that absolutely. Like if this had come out before, I guess like if we had continued to do the podcast when we initially started it,
And if it was good, we would be all over it.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
And we would be fans forever. We'd be building bear statues. I just don't think this show's gonna have a cultural footprint.
part of the issue is that they just keep fucking up by releasing the episodes every single, like all in one chunk.
All at once.
Like the fact
Yep.
that it came out yesterday and we were able to watch as many as we did today, like that's stupid. That's not how TV
Yeah.
should work. But I guess it's not paced like a TV show, you know, like it's just, there's just not enough experience in TV writing, which is, as opposed to a show like The Pit. It's interesting to compare this to this season in particular to The Pit, because it's like, it's all one day. And then,
we should fucking hate The Pit because The Pit was
in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and it was, but like, not all jokes aside, like it was a show that was supposed to be set in Chicago. It's ER.
Mm-hmm. What was it? Was it supposed to be set in Chicago?
Okay.
It was supposed to be an ER.
The rumor
Mhm.
is that it was written and started as a literal ER,
Oh, interesting.
whatever.
Like a sequel.
And yeah, but like, I don't think that's what you would call it on TV, but like remake or redux or whatever. And they got very frustrated with the Crichton estate and just like the legacy ER people, that they were just like, fuck it, we know how to make a regular ass television show. Like, stop trying to make this into modern television. And they just made their own thing. They set it in a different city because of that. And so that should be annoying to me as someone who wants things set in Chicago, and it's not. They make it its own thing, and like,
Yeah, it's also not filmed in Pittsburgh.
But like, always fun. They're like always like, Penguins fans coming in and whatever.
And that's a show that can get preachy and sentimental, but like it's still, I don't know. I guess it's just like it's so much faster paced, and there's like actually like there are things going on, and there are things that happen external to the characters that cause their emotional reactions, and so much of The Bear is someone like thinking and feeling bad. You know?
Yeah, and like I do think like speaking of shows with panic attacks, the structure of The Pit allows you to be like, oh, this character hasn't gone pee in a while. This character hasn't like breathed. This character just witnessed a ton of trauma and then has a breakdown in the room and then has to go back to work. Like, it's so much more interesting than when it's like a narratively contrived.
Yeah.
So
I want to bring up one last thing.
Go ahead. Sure. We got to talk about the ending.
2 last things. Yeah. So the one thing we mentioned earlier, the restaurant, it's unclear if it's going to continue or not, but they decide that, oh, we're going to franchise out the beef window. And that's going to be like, and everyone keeps talking about like, oh, that's a great idea. That's going to make so much money. That's a brilliant idea. Do you know how many fucking local Italian beef chains there are in this fucking city? You think anyone's going to like give a shit that there's another one? Like, I don't think like opening another Mr. Beef in the fucking suburbs is gonna do that much better. You know,
They're talking about it being ghost kitchens. I'm like,
it just doesn't. No one's getting Italian beef fucking DoorDash to them, and if they are, that sounds kind of fucking nasty.
I'm kind of someone who does that, but it is nasty. But
You're DoorDashing one from the Minneapolis Portillo's as we speak.
It's on its way. I'm so looking forward to it. No, it comes in soggy and gross, so you can't get it dipped. You have to order a regular sandwich, and then you have to order the juice on the side.
Yeah, but I just feel like there's so many. They keep mentioning, oh, it's such a brilliant idea. This is the capital of Italian beef restaurants. It is from here. Like, it's not going to do that well, I don't think. And all these other places have like footprints and like
yeah.
They.
So what's it like? I mean, if it was a Portillo's, right? I mean, is Portillo's Portillo's is not the comp. But,
no, I don't know. I mean, there is a.
But
Mr.
what is like
Beef.
the franchise going to look like?
Yeah.
What is their thing? Their thing is that they're a Michelin star restaurant, which means that they put all their effort into each thing, and they're just on like the edge, and like a pipe burst, so they have to like put their like that's not going to happen there. It's going to be shitty. So it's not going to you're going to go in there once or twice.
It's not related. Yeah, no, it's not related to the franchise. Isn't related to the Michelin.
It's just
part.
a Mr. Beef. That's true.
Yeah,
it's Mr. Burf.
But it'd be weird. I guess it's like small cheval compared to all cheval, but it just doesn't.
I get that's actually a good comp.
Yeah,
that's actually a good comp.
But all cheval started first. You know, it's not
as fancy, and then it took a step down. Well,
yeah.
What did you think about the ending of the show?
That last episode lasts forever. It's like 2 hours. It's like 7 hours long, even though it's 1 hour long. That final reveal. Spoiler alert.
Go ahead. Spoiler for everybody.
Carmi decides he's not going to work in the restaurant business anymore, even though he clearly enjoyed it. I think he just doesn't like being boss. Clear, like he just needs to take orders. But he decides he's not going to be in the restaurant business anymore. He's going to follow his real dream. John Mulaney gets him an interview. He goes to the interview. He really fucks up the interview, I would say. He trauma dumps to the person viewing him about like how he's bad at running a restaurant, which is not something I would do if I'm trying to get a job. And then it's revealed that he's interviewing for an architecture internship, which is just, maybe between.
Maybe it's seated somewhere. I'm so sorry if it is. I just was like, what? So they're going to do the bear, but I was like, are they setting up a second thing?
First off, I have friends who are architects. That's a very demanding job. They're also very stressed all the time. They also went to school for it.
It feels like they're pitching. It feels like they're pitching, like the TV or movie version of being an architect, which is just like what the default what characters are.
Yeah, but it's very hard to be an architect.
You need someone to be creative, but not that serious. Like they can't be a lawyer because lawyers are evil, and they can't be in real estate. I'll be an architect. You know what I mean? It's like such a lazy writer crutch.
It's like, oh yeah, he's like, I'm good at drawing, and that's why I want to do this. Which is just like a very child's-like version of wanting to be an architect. Also, they're impressed that he can like multiply 26 by 2. I think you need to know math to be an architect. Like, I think he also didn't go to college. It's just so stupid.
Yeah. Whatever, like it's fine, or it's great, and I love it. I don't know. I don't care that much. I'm never gonna think about the bear again.
Okay.
Someone's gonna be like, did you watch the bear? And I'll be like, I don't think I did. After season 2, I think I fell off. It's Iowa DeBerry's show. She's great. She's I do think there's times in which she's doing actor face where I'm like this is the way that I would try to act this scene. But I'm rooting for her. Also, she started off as a podcaster who talks shit, so I hope she likes this episode when she listens to it, because I think she has a lot of time to listen to podcasts.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if someone ever wants me to hire me in a bear type show, I would do it, you know.
Yeah,
reluctantly.
I'm bored. I know, sorry. But like I just think like there's better shows about Chicago to be made. So I just hope that this if the legacy of the bear is anything, film shows here, hire people from here to make the shows, not from Park Ridge, sorry. Or if they're from Park Ridge, maybe they have something to say. Like maybe the writing is like, you know.
Yeah.
Like Paco said, it's not about gatekeeping Chicago. It's about like actually making sure that there's at least some sort of level of like, I don't know, foresight, or I don't know.
4 stars. Or just make a show about the suburbs. That'd be interesting too. There's a lot of interesting things about Park Ridge, I'm sure. They have that cool theater. Pickwick.
Make a bear about Pickwick.
Oh, that would actually be kind of good. Ooh, a family theater. Yeah, you're kind of actually living the bear about.
I am in my life.
You are the bear about a movie theater.
I know. I need to go to sleep. I have Jeremy Allen white eyes.
So Poochinski and the bear. How any final
Bearchinski.
thoughts? Yeah, Bearchinski.
Yeah. There was my final thought is that there was one line that I texted to you that the chief said to Poochinski's partner, where he said, "Don't confuse hygiene with character," and that's gonna stick with me a very long time. That's a very wise saying,
Don't confuse hygiene with character.
and also I just think The Bear is a very surface level show with some pleasures, undeniably. But I wish that TV shows felt more like TV and that movies felt like more like movies. I think I would eat up The Bear if it was a movie. That's my final thought. I would give this.
If it was a restaurant, you mean?
Yeah. I would eat it up if it was a restaurant. Speaking of, I give it 4 Michelin stars.
Wow, nice.
Like the flag.
Yeah, I think that comparing the shows is kind of interesting because I think they're both symptomatic of the TV issues going on at the time in which they were released, where it's like Poochinski came out at this time where there were so many fucking sitcoms. There was a Chicago Tribune article I found where it said that it was one of 4 pilots set in Chicago. They were all sitcoms like that were coming out at that same time. And like they all had like these little gimmicks that just didn't really go anywhere past like the first few episodes. So I feel like the Poochinski is like a good version of, or an interesting example of that. And then The Bear is a good example of like how bad streaming has gotten and how like no one knows how to make television. And you know, I would ultimately give them, if I had to rate them, probably 4 stars.
Like for the pause and Poochinski?
Yes. Yeah. 4 badges. 4
badges
with dogs on them. Poochinski.
4 barks. Ruff, 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 ruff. There we go.
Do you have any recommendations, Jeremy?
Yes. I had very little time this week. I was at Index Conference. I'm going to admit something to you that I think you will judge me for, but I'm going to say it anyway. Sorry to the haters. I really liked Materialists. I really liked it. I locked in. It's really, really lonely on Dakota Johnson's one of the best actors of her generation island that I'm on. She's actually super interesting and weird, and I think the fact that she's a Nepo baby helps the movie, doesn't hurt it. I think Pedro Pascal, very good. I thought the reveal was well handled. I think it's about all the things. I think everyone made the mistake of thinking that it was a rom-com, and it is not a rom-com. It's a very, very acidic movie. I think Chris Evans is pretty bad in it, and it's pretty. But he's miscast. He's not bad. He's miscast. That doesn't make any sense. He's pretty bad.
Did you see him in the Joel Coen movie? Or is he?
No.
Which is the one with the lesbian wife? Is it Joel?
Yeah.
He's really bad in that one. He's really bad.
Yeah.
Not Honey Don't. Or is it Honey Don't?
The other one. It's Honey Don't.
Yeah, it's Honey Don't. He's really bad in that.
Driveway Dolls. Honey Don't.
Honey Don't. I think he has forgotten how to act.
I think so too. But I really liked that movie. I think it's gonna hold up. Like I think if people give it another shot, there will be more to mine from it than you expected. I'm not saying it's the deepest movie ever made, or like, I just think that all the things that people were making fun of it for are kind of textual. It's about vapid New York in a way that I was like, this is exactly what New York is like. Seeing Dasha there, I was like annoyed, and then I was like, no, but like it does, like this is what New Yorkers are like
Yeah, I forgot.
they're all a bunch of like shallow Dashas. I liked it. I recommend The Materialists by Lock it in, Paco. I really like the first half. The second half lost me a little bit, but I really like the first half of The Materialists. I know. Sorry.
What will I recommend?
Are you just gonna beep it all out? Poochinski, get him.
As research for our next heist episode, Widows, I've been watching the movies of Steve McQueen that I haven't seen before, and
like from the 60s.
Yeah. What a bullet. I've seen that one. I would say Blitz is actually pretty good, but
interesting. I haven't seen Blitz.
Blitz is pretty. At first, I thought it was kind of bad, and then it kind of pretty good. But what I will say is Blitz. I watched that movie, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like I kind of feel bad for the British. Like, damn, it sucks that happened. And then I watched the next day. I watched Hunger, which is the movie I'm recommending. Hunger, which is about Bobby Sands, the IRA member who did a hunger strike, so that the IRA prisoners could get a political status, and he and 9 died. I saw Hunger, and I was like, we need to invade them. Like, I'm sorry, but like,
and England.
Any bad feelings I felt from any like sympathy I felt after Blitz, I was like, nope, we gotta end them. We gotta.
All right,
end them.
we'll talk about it on Widows, but is it that he's getting soft because it's in the opposite direction?
I mean, it's more just like, it's not like pro British because a lot of
it's anti-war.
It's anti-war, and it's actually a really interesting movie because a lot of it is about the main character is half black, and a lot of it is about the racism he faces in England while like all this bombing is happening, and like even despite the fact that our idea of World War II England is like, oh yeah, all these people like getting together and working together. It's like, oh, there's all these like all this discrimination and all these like structures still existed. But I recommend Hunger so that you will never feel bad about the British ever again. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. If you have any hate mail, comments, complaints, or if you want to get us a reservation at the Bear or any other restaurant, you can email us at chicagopodfilmcast@gmail.com or follow us on social media at chicagopodfilm. Thanks for listening.
Please be considerate when talking on your phone or listening to electronic devices.
Doors closing.
Materials is good.